Alright, are we going? Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Webcam, we're live. We're live. We're live. Dun dun dun. There we go. Let's keep that over here. We'll move this down here. There we go. Okay. Seems to be a pretty strong delay, but that's okay. Alright, so until somebody comes in here to chit-chat, let's just edit this video.
Tweaks. So I did.
I'll turn this down. You don't want to hear that. I'm going to see if I can pull this up on my phone too. Let's see, let's see. Oh, I actually have people watching this. Howdy, everybody. This is my very first attempt at a stream. So, if if people aren't chatting down below, it's might be pretty uneventful. But the video I'm editing right now is on GNOME tweaks and applying themes through GNOME tweaks. Okay. Da da da. So we are rocking. Let's drag this down a little bit so maybe you guys can see it a little better. Make sure my head's not in the way. There we go. Perfect. All right. So let's get going.
Let's get started. The very first thing you're going to want to do is open up your terminal and get GNOME tweaks. We're going to use this to tweak some things around, GNOME tweaks, as well as apply themes and extensions. So what we're going to want to do is sudo apt install GNOME-tweaks.
Dun dun dun.
Now, I get a lot of people saying, well, you just open up the pop shop board. And then go ahead and type in sudo.
All right. For those of you who just joined, this is my very first attempt at a stream. So I'm still trying to figure everything out. I'm not going to be saving this to my YouTube library because I'm still getting the hang of everything and trying to figure it out to an extent. But I'm paying attention to the chat window if anybody wants to ask any questions, say anything. I'll reply to just about everything, unless if it's something absolutely ridiculous. So audio bitrate, video bitrate, it all looks good. Okay. Warning your streams. Content, alright. Bitrate's a little low, so the video's kind of blurry. But that's okay for now. Let's see. I got dun dun dun. Stream content is healthy. I disagree. It's looking pretty blurry over here. Dun dun. Oh, there we go. Will that fix it? Hey, okay, now we're looking good. Okay, so let's edit this video.
Apply themes and extensions. So what we're going to want to do is sudo apt install GNOME-tweaks. Now, I get a lot of people saying, well, you just open up the pop shop board.
Okay, so see, I gotta cut this out right here. Right there. Right there. Boom. And we're gonna go back. If y'all didn't know, I'm using Kdenlive. It is one of the best video editors available. Let's see here. Okay.
And let's get started. The very first thing you're going to want to do is open up your terminal and get GNOME tweaks. We're going to use this to tweak some things around, GNOME tweaks.
So right before I start typing.
Extensions. So what we're going to
So yep, right here. So boom. And then if we zoom out, I'm getting rid of this chunk. Drag, drop, boom. Let's see how that looks.
themes and extensions. And then go ahead and type in sudo install or sudo
That works. That will work.
sudo apt install
Okay.
GNOME. I'm not good at typing, by the way. Tweaks.
Ooh, I got
Enter.
6 people
Yes.
watching. Nobody's chatting. Y'all can chat.
Now that we have GNOME tweaks installed, we are going to go ahead
Just-
and check it out. Actually, before we do that, let's go to
Hmm.
settings and I'm going to show you what you get by default. If I go under appearance here, you can see the only options I have is to change the background
Okay.
as well as switch between a light and a dark theme. Now,
So one thing I need to do really quick is I need to pull up a window here and I need to grab some screenshots. So I'm going to go to youtube.com and then let's go ahead and go to the Tech Hut YouTube channel. I'm currently live. Go to community and I'm going to pull a poll. I'm going to pull the poll that I did, which is this one right here. So we're going to open up my preferred screenshot application, which is Spectacle, as you can see here. Take a new screenshot. There we go. Just like that. Enter. And here is our screenshot. So I'm going to add this to the video. Actually, I'm going to do a new screenshot. Let's make this a little longer this way. Enter. Beautiful. Save as. And I'm just going to do it to my desktop for now. I'll just save it as that. Open containing folder. There it is. Pop that in there. And somewhere over here is where I'm going to add it. Let's see.
how to add extensions, themes, and do some overall tweaks. So I did run a few polls on
Right here. This is where she's going. So the one thing I really, really like about Kden Live is if you go, it's a lot like Adobe Premiere Pro in the keyframing and how you move and transform a lot of things. So if I go right here under the alpha and transform, and I just drag and drop this transform right here, click on it. Here I have my little window where I can actually change the effect, which is the transform effect in this case. So you can see if I play with the size, it shrinks that down. So I'm going to move this over here, put it right there. It kind of looks okay. I'm going to drag this corner down right about there. So when I talk about that, it'll pop up.
overall tweaks. So I did run a few polls on my community page on my YouTube. I figured out that most of you guys are using GNOME and a lot of you guys are using Pop! OS. So I'll be making
So right there is, I'm going to drag this out to here. And I'm going to make this come in when I first say
a few polls on my community.
polls. So drag this here. And the other thing I like about it is there's 2 options to add like slides and things like that. I'll do both real quick so you guys can kind of see exactly what I'm talking about. So when I have this come in, I want it to slide from one side. So I have 2 options. One, I could do it with keyframing, which I'll show you real quick. So here is my X and Y axis. You can see if I move this around or change the value there. You can pull this back. So I'm going to pull it all the way back. I usually just slide it like that. And here I'm going to add the keyframe. And then I'm going to go ahead a little bit.
Polls on my community.
Right there. And I'm going to add another keyframe and then drag it back in just about to where I want it. So then when that plays through,
Few polls on my community page.
it was choppy in this because I'm running a lot of crap, but it'll be a nice smooth slide that comes in there.
Few polls on my community page on
And that was almost too much of a delay. So the other thing I like about it is it's really easy to go in here. I'm going to zoom in as far as I can on these keyframes. So if I drag these in a little bit, it will shorten the length of time it takes to get from there to it being in screen. And you can see I accidentally clicked the dissolve. If you click, there's little buttons right here so you can add like quick effects. So I'm actually going to bring this back because I don't want that. And then play. Good. I'm going to play it again because it'll render a little bit better. It's a little choppy, but when that's rendered out, it will be very smooth. Okay. Oh wow, I have 6 people in here now. That's pretty cool. Like I said, for those 6 of you watching, this is my very first attempt at a live stream. So do bear with me. Nothing crazy's happening. I'm just seeing what goes wrong and what goes right. So far, the main thing going wrong seems to be my bit rate is pretty low. So I'm going to change that. It needs to be 6,500 kilobits. So I'll change that later. But so that's one way to do those slides. And another way is under, instead of effects, you go to compositions. Then here you have the slide effect. Drag and drop that there. And then at first you'll see it just kind of reset. You need to click on that, create your starting point and your ending point. So I'm starting in the middle, or where it's supposed to be, and going to be ending out on that side of the screen. So if I go back in, I play that out, it will slowly start to move out. I want that to speed up. So what I will do, it's like, let me move that. What I'll end up doing, hello, Rodrigo. Is that how you say your name? So I'm going to move this over here, and then it should, whoops, don't do that. Put that back, and then if I play this, it will be a much quicker swipe to get that graphic out of the screen. And that was even a little too slow still, so let's kind of lower that a bit, just so it's a really quick wipe. So play that, and it's out of there. Nice. So then that shows kind of what I was talking about in the video. For those 7 of you watching, this was the results on one of the polls that I ran. A lot of you guys use GNOME, thus why I made this video. It's a really simple kind of tutorial video going over how to add custom theming. If I go ahead and open up this Pop! OS virtual machine, I kind of give you guys a little sneak peek. Oh, I'm sorry. It's 5:41 p.m. where I'm at. Hope my that your phone didn't buzz and wake you up or anything like that. That's no fun. But anyways, what this video is so this is Pop! OS. And if I go ahead and open up the files, you can see it kind of looks like a Macintosh shell. So that's what I'm going to be showing you guys how to do in this video that will be up tomorrow morning. It's really, really simple actually. It's you create a .themes folder in your home directory, and then you can put themes in there, and then use the user theme GNOME extension, or GNOME tweaks extension, which is right here on the bottom. And then you can use this to go under appearance in GNOME tweaks, and then add your custom themes, which just adds some actual customizations to GNOME, because we all know by default GNOME is not the most customizable thing out of the gate. So if I go to settings here, you could see you could change the background, and you could change it between the light and dark theme, and that's really all you get out of the gate anyways. And that's when you go and add the GNOME tweaks and all that. So a lot of people talk smack on GNOME and they say it's not very customizable, when in reality it's just the fact that you have to do some stuff to get it to be customizable. So that's what this video is about. I just gave you the whole video in like 2 minutes, but this will go more in depth into what's going on. Okay. I'm going to reply just in case if you didn't hear me. GNOMElook.org. Yep, that's where I got this theme. It's it's like one of their top themes, uh, and I showed people how to put it into the .themes folder and use GNOME tweaks to pull it up. So the one that I demonstrated in this video is this one, the Prof, or I'm not sure what they want to call it, Prof GNOME theme, but it's a light. Well, they have multiple options, but essentially it looks kind of like an old school Mac OS X look. But overall, it's good themes. And what do you think? Yeah, exactly. Whoever thinks that GNOME isn't that customizable, one, I understand, because out of the gate, it's not. It's not like KDE. I see the KDE comment. I prefer KDE because of how integrated the customization is. The store is built into the settings and all that, which is awesome. Um, but yeah, default, there's not very much customization options. Okay. What do you think of Kdenlive versus Adobe Premiere Pro? Now, I used Adobe Premiere Pro for a very, very long time. In high school, I took video production for all 4 years, so from 2010 to 2014, and we used, I think it was Premiere Pro CS4 and CS5 in my last year the entire time, and it's amazing software. There's a reason it's the number one, and I want to say it's better because it's paid. There's a huge team behind it. There's hundreds of thousands of dollars, probably millions of dollars behind that software. But that versus Kdenlive, for the resources that have been put into it, Kdenlive has absolutely everything I need. What I was showing people a minute ago is the main reason I like Adobe Premiere Pro is the keyframing, and I was kind of demonstrating some of the keyframing in Kdenlive, like right here with this super simple transition, but it's things like this that I would do all the time in Premiere Pro. So Kdenlive has everything I need, and it works really good. It does crash on me here and there. Basically, if you hit Control-Z more than 4 times, you're gonna crash. but it has a really, really good autosave functionality, which is nice. You just have to make sure you save it initially, which, speaking of, that that might be a good idea. Let's this is the GNOME themes project. And the DaVinci Resolve, I saw somebody ask, have you ever tried DaVinci Resolve? I have. I like it. The color correction is absolutely fantastic. But it doesn't work that good on my machine. I'm not sure if it's exactly how I have it customized. But when I first started using Linux full time in about the beginning of the year, I put DaVinci Resolve on it, and some things didn't work, so I used Kdenlive, and I've just been using it since and haven't had any issues whatsoever. But DaVinci Resolve is an amazing application. I know they use it in professional studios all the time for color grading and color correction. Yeah, you're right. I'm never gonna finish this. I'll probably end up finishing it after, but yeah, I'll go through. If I actually sat here and finished it, it'd be boring because half the time me actually editing these. You can see if I zoom out here, all these gaps. Basically, I'm figuring things out on the fly sometimes because I'll try something new and I'll be like, oh, okay, that's not how it goes. And so most of my editing is actually me cutting out pauses because this is my first time live streaming, and I talk and forget to breathe. So in my videos, a lot of the times I'll say like 3 sentences and stop and go and then start talking again. But yeah, okay. The fact that there's so many customization options that I personally can't handle it. Yeah, KDE does have a lot going on. Even in my... Here, I'm starting to close things off. Even in my system, I don't have too much customization going on. You can't really see it because I'm zoomed in into Kdenlive. But if I go to my system settings here. There's just so much you could do. I'm running the Leyland theme under Plasma style. I stick with Leyland, but you could go so in depth with this, with picking the exact GTK theme. If I go under Application Style, you could pick these, and then you could go to GNOME GTK and pick those specific ones, pick your colors. It's just so much going on. You see all these different settings from these Manjaro custom settings down to appearance, workspace. And then if you jump into something like Pop! OS and then open up their settings, it still has a lot of general hardware stuff, but under appearance and actually in these setting menus, there's not much going on, which for some people it's underwhelming, for some people it's perfect. The KDE menu, which I just had open, which right here, it's for a lot of people, even myself in some situations, it's overwhelming because just about every little thing you could change. But that's one of the beautiful things about Linux. Performance. Actually, I don't want to skip too many things. There's so many options. I have tried DaVinci Resolve, I was saying, but it didn't work for me at first, and I've just been using Kdenlive, and it's so similar to Premiere that I'm used to it. What about your performance? The performance is, well, Premiere's on Windows, so it performs. I haven't really noticed too much of a difference, and I haven't actually done like side-by-side speed test comparison stuff. And I don't really video edit on hardware that I would actually notice a difference. Like this system, it's not the most suit up system or the most powerful system in the world, but I mean, this computer, it's pretty good. Let's NeoFetch this. NeoFetch. I'm rocking a, I think it's a Ryzen, 73700X. Crappy GPU, but it works really good. I don't notice the difference. Even render speeds are kind of on par. I would have to do an actual side-by-side kind of test to actually notice the difference. Hi, Juan. Okay, so might get like 5 more seconds of editing in real quick. Let's see here.
Open up your terminal and get GNOME tweaks. We're going to use this to tweak some things around, GNOME tweaks, as well as apply themes and extensions.
By play, do you mean, yeah, gaming? Not too often. I have Minecraft that I play occasionally. So if I, boom, I got the Minecraft launcher. Before I got into Linux, and for a while there, for a long time, this used to actually be a Minecraft channel. I have a lot of really old school like Minecraft bucket plugin tutorials and things like that on the channel. Like if you go on my channel and you go by order of popularity, it's all videos from like 7-8 years ago, because I have a couple like top 10 bucket plugin videos and things like that from quite a while ago. So I do play Minecraft. I played Fall Guys until they added anti-cheat, so that sucked. I have StarCraft on Lutris, which once I fully get everything figured out, I'm actually going to be making a full-fledged like gaming tutorial guide soon. So I'll be able to run through all that and get everything working. But I actually uninstalled it, and I'm going to be trying other things. I'm going to try to see if I get Call of Duty working and play with some of my friends and all that fun stuff. But we'll see. I just noticed my face is being covered by my icon here. Let's move me over here a little bit. There we go. Okay. All right. By the way, I use Arch. Yeah, I use Arch too. I'll be honest. I'm actually going to be moving soon to a place with really poor internet connection, so I might have to switch to Debian for the sole purposes of me not having access to a rolling release, or not having access, but not being able to update my system all the time. What are the games that don't run on Linux? The only games that actually you cannot, under no circumstances, run on Linux at the time is any games with anti-cheat enabled. Most Steam games you can run, but if they have anti-cheat, you can't run them. I'm going to go show you something real quick. If you want to check to see what games work, You could go over to Proton. If you just search Proton on Google, Proton Gaming or Steam or whatever, Proton DB, and this will show you what games do and don't work. So you could explore. So Red Dead Redemption works, Doom Eternal, Call of Duty, World at War II. There's a ton of games that work. And they are ranked here too, so you see Call of Duty's bronze, so there might be something on it that doesn't work right. Red Dead Redemption 2 works. I'm actually going to be trying that out soon here when I have time. Infinite Warfare, silver, so it probably works perfectly fine. These are all just the Proton games, so these are games that could be easily playable through Steam. And then if you go to Lutris Games, here you can see all the other games that you could play. So this is ranked alphabetical order, so let's rank this by popularity. You have League of Legends, Team Fortress 2, Portal 2, Left 4 Dead, all kinds of things. So there are a ton of games that you could play. The real issue is with anti-cheat, because anti-cheat uses, I forgot exactly. I know it's a process in Windows that it attaches itself to, and it makes it really hard for people who develop Wine and stuff to actually make that work. It just doesn't at the moment. There's been talks that they might get it to work, but they've been having those talks forever. Where are you from? I am from the United States of America in the beautiful Pacific Northwest Washington state. I am out of not Portland, Oregon exactly, but I'm near Portland, and soon I will be moving to Eastern Washington. Dual boot Arch and MX Linux. That's a pretty good setup. Arch is beautiful, and MX is one of the better Debian-based distributions. Age of Empires worked. You can make it work. Yeah, you can probably make Age of Empires work. It doesn't have anti-cheat. Age of Empires. It's slow. Yeah. Age of Empires HD 2. All the extension packs. Yeah, so people have it working just fine. I love Age of Empires. My favorite real-time strategy game ever was probably Empire Earth. Empire Earth was awesome, but I do not know anybody who's played that game other than me. So if any of you have ever played the Empire Earth 2 was my favorite. Empire Earth 1 was good. Empire Earth 3 sucked. It's on average for those who have tried it, but still good. Yeah, exactly. Bronze is good, but there might be depends on what system, what's the word, dependencies and all that you have going on. Yeah, you don't want to give kernel access. Okay, so now that I've got up on that, and I've given my, I'm serious about that Empire Earth. If anybody's ever played that, let me know, because I've tried various Linux distributions on my old computer too, but none of the distro worked better than Windows 7. Windows 7 is awesome. Windows 7 is one of the best things Microsoft has ever done for themselves. But Windows 10, it's just not good. Is there something I could be doing wrong? 2 gigabyte Intel, so it's a very low-end system. You want to go with something, either like an LXQT or XFCE desktop environment. If you tried Linux Lite, I know Linux Lite worked pretty good on one of my systems. That was it was a newer system, but it was one of like the netbooks. So Linux Lite is worth a try. There's not really much that you could be doing wrong. Yeah, I would try Linux Lite. If anybody else has any lightweight Linux distribution suggestions, Zorin Lite. Zorin Lite's a good one. Thanks for bringing that up. And Ubuntu too. Yeah, I second Zorin, the Zorin Lite. The regular Zorin is a little resource intensive because it is a beautiful distribution, but they've done really, really good with their lightweight distribution. Yeah, Puppy Linux if you want to go really light. That's a good one. Ooh, somebody has played Empire Earth. Empire Earth was nice. Command and Conquer is fun. Spent many hours creating mods for it. That's awesome. Yeah, I spent many of hours. I used to have this roommate a long time ago, and we would get into a game of Empire Earth on like a local LAN network, and it would be me and him and like probably 8 bots in like the largest map size, and we'd play for like 12 hours straight, and end up just quitting because it was just became too much. Yeah, Juan, I'd recommend the Zorin Lite, Lubuntu, anything like that. Throw it on a USB and don't even install it. Just make sure everything works. Make sure the Wi-Fi drivers work, because there's nothing more, well, nothing worse than installing a Linux distribution and not having Wi-Fi, or you know what I mean. Just make sure everything works. Okay. Do I use Linux exclusively? At the moment, yes. Yeah. At the moment, yes, I do use Linux exclusively. I have an SSD in this computer that's not formatted currently because the only thing I had Windows on this computer for was to play Fall Guys with one of my friends, but we haven't played it in a while, and I ended up just formatting the hard drive. So, yep, for me it's Linux exclusively, and there hasn't really been any challenges for me because everything I do involves media production or schoolwork, because I almost have my associate's degree. Um, so, the only issue I had recently was I tried to turn in a PowerPoint through LibreOffice, and I forgot to change it to PowerPoint. I turned it in as the Libre format, and I had to he emailed me wondering what it was, and I had to go through and send it as a PowerPoint. But that was the only issue I've ever had in my full switch. But yeah, Linux exclusively at the moment, and I honestly don't see myself really going back. The only time I had to use Windows recently was to make a video, which it was if I whip this over here real quick, it was on this, because the one thing that really, RGB is something that does not work very good on Linux, and I was making a tutorial. It's, where is it? This Cooler Master tutorial. I had to do a lot of the different effects and stuff. I had to show people how to do it on Windows because I was linking people from this video, which there's a lot of Windows people watching that. So I will occasionally install Windows to make a video and then just uninstall it after the fact. Okay. I think Ubuntu Mate was the only one. Ubuntu Mate is wonderful. The very first time I used Ubuntu, I was using, I think it was a version 8, and it kind of had the, I think it was GNOME 2. I love the Mate with the, how the applications menu, the file menu, all that is super awesome. I use Windows just to play games. Let's see. I bought a new laptop, Lenovo Slim. I love the Lenovo products. I have 2 Lenovo ThinkPads. Tried to have an issue with GPU and sleeping, then tried installing Manjaro, had issues too. I am sorry. That sucks. Maybe I would just go and try Pop OS. I'm not sure the GPU on that Lenovo Slim, but try Pop OS and see how you like it. And this video I'm uploading too will show you how to add themes and watch the 5 things to do. See if that works out for you, because Pop OS is really a rock solid distribution, especially if you're just getting into it. Want to get a Ryzen 3700X, RX. Hey, that's my exact setup. Would that be good, or would the GPU? No, the Ryzen 3700X and the RX 588 gigabyte. That's my exact setup. Actually, if you look right here, I have the RX 580. I don't even know if that's in screen. I can't see myself. But I just got this because I was having issues here and there with my NVIDIA card, and it just wasn't working good. And I don't really game that much, so I don't need the heavy duty graphics cards. I was thinking about buying the new low budget AMD cards when they come out, but see here, I put my old NVIDIA card in here. There's a little Gigabyte GeForce GTX 1650. So yeah, that's cool. But I switched out for AMD because I was having issues off and on. But yeah, the budget AMD card is awesome if you don't mind 1080p gaming. Medium settings, 1080p works perfectly fine. High settings, depending on the game. Let's see. And the Ryzen 3700X is a wonderful CPU. This video, it's probably going to end up being a 5-minute video. I'll render it out in 4 minutes. Wonderful CPU. And like this whole time right now I'm streaming, I have Kden Live open. I have like 4 Firefox tabs open. I have a virtual machine open. I have a couple other things open. And you can see, actually no you can't. I'm not even using 20% of my CPU and I have all this stuff going on. Ryzen 3700X I could not recommend more. Windows is such a pain, thinking of switching to Linux. The one thing, before you switch, I'm going to do a video on this in the future. Before you switch entirely over to Linux, I'd recommend whatever you do, make sure that it's compatible with Linux. For example, if you're in Photoshop all the time, download GIMP or what's the other one, Krita, and make sure that you can use that. Load it in virtual machines and try to, for maybe a couple days or so, don't use your Windows, open your virtual machine and only play in Linux. Run off of a live USB for a while. Do all that before you completely switch because you don't want to have to reinstall Windows. That's never fun. Linux Mint is another beautiful one. The community is awesome. I'm trying Pop OS. Yeah, Pop OS is awesome. This is what I'm running Manjaro on my main machine, but I do a lot of videos in this Pop OS virtual machine here, which is what this is right here that I'm supposed to be working on, but not, because talking to y'all is fun. Windows is such a pain. I've had issues with Manjaro also. I haven't had too many issues with Manjaro. I've had a couple things off and on here and there. Like I've had a random like warning box come up with no text, and I'm just like not exactly sure what to make of it. But I haven't had any major issues. I've had one issue I had is sometimes when I restart I get a black screen, but I hit the reset button on my computer and it restarts and it boots up fine. I'm going to be trying Arco Linux soon, so trying to get Manjaro is kind of like a bloated Arch, and I'm going to be trying to get a little more stripped down versions of Arch. Depends on how many people are here. Oh, I got 12 of you. How are you all doing? I'm just upgrading the CPU. Good. Kills me how will Linux ever process normal people can't install on their laptops without us troubleshooting. Yeah, that's one of the things with Linux is you have to be wanting. It depends. It's a hit or miss. It's hard to say. You have to have the willingness to learn and troubleshoot. This will get better over time, and it has. For example, 10 years ago when I first started playing around with Linux, half of the drivers, it was such a pain to get it to work on anything. You had to basically luck out or know how to program to get a lot of different distributions and things to work a long time ago. Now, a lot of things work. I had issues with my printer with Manjaro. That's another thing, but I eventually got it figured out. The only distribution that I haven't had an issue with that printer is Solus. That's one of the reasons I kind of liked it. The Solus supported that. It's a Espion or Espon or something like that. But yeah, Linux, you have to have a willingness to learn and a willingness to read. I have a 1650 Super, and I have almost any problem. Yeah, this is a 1650 Super right here. I've had no issues with it. The Pop! OS NVIDIA driver version worked completely fine. Um, Manjaro works completely fine with the 1650. But I wanted to do the benchmarking on Solus, and Solus did not want to boot the NVIDIA drivers for nothing. So I literally bought that AMD card specifically for that. But it's an AMD card, so it's going to be my main card. I'm going to use it. And this, I don't know if I'm going to sell it or I might build a little PC for or put it in my dad's computer or something. He needs something like that. Okay. Creating a bootable USB in Windows for Linux. Etcher in Windows works a lot better than it does in Linux. Let's see here. I forgot the name. I think it's Rufus. Yeah, Rufus. This is one thing that will work really, really good if you want to create a bootable USB. It's Rufus, RUFUS.IE. You should have no issues with this, but if you do have issues with it, try Etcher. Etcher's kind of been a hit or miss depending on what ISOs you're trying to burn and all that. Oh no, I lost track of where I am. Which distro are you on? I'm on a Manjaro. Oh no, you're talking to somebody else. Okay. Okay. Endeavor OS. Yeah, I liked Endeavor. I had that on my laptop for about a week before I put Solus on it, and it was pretty nice. There were some things I'm still trying to get used to actually using Pac-Man instead of just being a Manjaro normie and loading up the PAMAC, which is awesome. I love PAMAC. This right here. But I need to get more familiar with Pac-Man and all that. It's hard for me to use Linux with my OCD issues. Everything is broken all the time. Yeah. So installing a straight old school Debian might be the way to go if you have OCD about a lot of things. Ubuntu too, just regular plain old LTS Ubuntu might be a really good move. Super stable. There's a reason everybody builds off of Ubuntu. Pop! OS too, I'd recommend. Why to use Kdenlive instead of DaVinci? Earlier I was talking about that. It's the reason why I like Kdenlive over DaVinci is it's more similar to Adobe Premiere Pro. And I used Adobe Premiere Pro for like 6 years or so before I ended up trying out Kdenlive and a couple other things. But it's the most similar. It has the same kind of keyframing stuff you could kind of see here with putting them in, and there's just so many similarities. It's very comfortable for me to use it. I do like I do like DaVinci Resolve and their color correction features. The color correction features here are not nearly as robust. So like if I go over here and effects, color, you have a couple different things. Like you could add curves. I used to do this all the time to make myself change the light and add a point in the middle here. There's a lot you could do with color in Kdenlive, but DaVinci Resolve definitely wins when it comes to the color editing. Most time Linux works better than Windows. Linux does work better than Windows for me anyways. It depends on your hardware, it depends on the distribution, it depends on a lot of things. It working better than the other is not even really why I go with it. It's mostly the principle behind it, the free and open source software, the whole Microsoft collecting data. I'm just not a fan of that stuff. Is Shortcut better than Kdenlive? That's the one thing. If you're talking about keyboard shortcuts, that's the one thing I haven't really gotten the hang of quite yet. I still hit these buttons over here all the time. I'm used to like Control C and Control X and all that for Premiere. I'm still trying to get used to the hotkeys in this. At the moment, I would say hotkeys in Premiere are better, but I'm pretty sure everything on here is customizable. Yeah, right here, configure keyboard shortcuts. if I really wanted to spend the time, I could just go and change everything to completely match Premiere Pro if I wanted to. Whoa. Okay. Thinking of getting an RX 680. So that's the NVIDIA card, right? Look for DaVinci Resolve. Oh, it's Shane Melton. Hi, Shane. Thinking of getting the RX 680 for Linux. That I know how to make it work. Yeah, it's a good card. I would get it too, but I'm a cheapskate. I just bought a $200 AMD card that will have to do for the time being. But yeah, I would definitely go with the RX 680 if you could. No, that's not the NVIDIA card. I'm sorry. I'm been talking straight for a while. I would highly recommend you get that card. I would be envious of you if you got that card. I've always used Pac-Man and Trizen. What makes you not go for Vanilla Arch? What makes me not go for Vanilla Arch is I don't know. I like installers. I like to be able to just install it. I don't want to go through my system and figure out all the different components and packages I need. I'm not like a super. I don't know. I don't want to use the word professional. And that's not even really for professionals. I just don't. I like installers. I like things to be able to throw a USB stick in the computer, click next a couple times, and be up and running and have everything just work out of the gate. But as I progress and as time goes on, I can see myself kind of going more towards that direction. Like I said earlier, I'm going to be trying out Arco Linux soon, which looks super cool, but that's, again, just an Arch installer. You should advocate USB imager by... Okay, I'll save that, the USB imager. Is that a Windows application? Here, let's go check that out. Let's go see what's going on. Dun, dun, dun. I need a bigger screen. This is a 1080p screen, and this is very difficult to do. Okay. Right here, USB imager. It's on GitLab. I like that. And is this for Linux, or is this this is a window? Oh, for Windows Linux. Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely give this a look. If anybody's interested immediately, this looks like a USB imager. So, and I know you could do it USB. You could burn USBs through the terminal, which is also fun. Probably because I'm too used to. Have you tried Nextcloud? I have not tried Nextcloud. I'm going to be moving soon, and I'm going to make a Nextcloud server and try to completely, I use Google Drive a lot at the moment. I'm going to try to completely de-Googlefy my life. So I just got into library, so if anybody's on library, you could check me out there. So I'm slowly progressing towards those types of services. Hi, is the new AMD card. Yep. Hi, Shane Milton, long time no see. Dun, dun, dun. Nice. I see you use Linux as your only OS. Do you have dual boot? I do not have a dual boot. I used to. I said earlier I had a dual boot. The only thing that was on my Windows drive was Steam and Fall Guys, but I haven't played that in a while, so I haven't had a need to get into Linux. Get into Windows. The only reason why I would want to boot into Windows is to play a game that has anti-cheat enabled, and I don't game that much, and as you can tell, Fall Guys was the only game I played. I'm not a gamer. Everything but YouTube. Yeah, I know, I'm sorry. I tried both Manjaro and Pop! OS. For some reason, Pop! OS requires more steps to set up. I haven't decided which one to choose yet. That is the ultimate decision between, it seems to be, between Manjaro and Pop! OS. They both are great and great for different reasons. They both have balanced cons. It's very hard. It's ultimately, do you want Debian or Arch-based system, rolling release, or the kind of LTS model? That's up to you. Yeah, it's the new AMD card. I would love to have. I'm waiting sometime in January or February. They're supposed to release the or announce the new budget-friendly AMD cards that are not $600 each. So like I said, I'm a cheapskate. It was super difficult for me to buy a $200 card while I already had a $150 card. Yeah, I tried both Manjaro and Pop OS. Manjaro KDE is fantastic. Yeah, that's what I'm using. Manjaro GNOME is actually really good too. I had that on one of my laptops for a while. I really like what the Manjaro team did with their GNOME edition. You should try Nextcloud. I will definitely be trying Nextcloud. I'm gonna set up a little home server. I'm gonna link my current domain name to an email and try to use my own self-hosted email as my primary email. Everything but YouTube, yeah. What was your first Linux distro? My very first Linux distro was Ubuntu. I think it was Ubuntu version 8. Let's see. I was in the 8th grade. I want to say I might have been in the 6th grade. So graduated high school in 2014. 6th grade, so 6 years, so 2008. So Ubuntu 2008. That was Ubuntu 8, and that was running I think GNOME 2. Yep, this is it. It's a very small picture. These are all very small pictures. That's probably the actual resolution. This was my very first version of Ubuntu. You had the programs, the files, the system settings. They have Microsoft Office. Yeah, I did that too. I got Microsoft Office 2007 working on it just fine. But yeah, Ubuntu 8 was my very first very first Linux distribution. And then after that, I tried Linux Mint, and I used that for a while. And then I switched back and forth between Mint and Windows for the longest time. Oh no, I'm sorry. Honestly, I'm not one to speak on the Pac-Man package manager at the moment. I know how to install software, but that's about it at the moment. I'm still trying to figure it out. That's why I installed Endeavor on my laptop for a while. I'm still learning a lot of this stuff too. I have a really good grasp on the apt pack manager. I have a really good grasp on the EOPKG package manager. Yeah, there's really not a huge difference. Ultimately, it comes down to just installing, removing, depending on what you're using, messing with repositories. Oh, let's see if I know how to do this. Hide user. There we go. Nice. Okay. Shane Milton, Pac-Man is easy. I like Arch. Spoiled me on Linux. Yeah, Arch is awesome. But I use Manjaro. It's Arch, but it's a clunky Arch. Okay, I'm supposed to be editing this video. I got look, I'm 24 seconds in. I started 53 minutes ago. It's okay though. I've added one effect.
I figured out that most of you guys are using GNOME and
Okay. I just rambled forever. I was telling most of my video editing revolves around me cutting out my breaths, my 10-second breaths. Dun, dun, dun. All right. How many people are in here? Let's take a look. See. 14. That's pretty good for my very first time. I was expecting maybe 5 people in here. And if for the however many people, 12 people in here that are watching, 15 people, I would highly recommend going and checking out Shane Milton's channel. He does great photography type content. What the heck? He does great photography, open source, Linux, GIMP, all that kind of stuff. Great channel. Hide user. Need to hire a moderator. But yeah, good stuff. He helped me out in one of my couple months ago. We did a top applications for content creators, and he had the the final say in the photography department. Is there a way to live stream through library? I don't think so. That would be really cool. But yeah, I'm not sure. I doubt it at the moment anyways. Because there's a lot of things you can't do on library. It's a moderately new platform, and they're still doing a lot of different things to it. The analytics aren't that good yet. Their point system or whatever this is kind of odd. So like if I go to here's everybody I'm following if you guys are interested. Luke, Linux Scoop, library itself, DistroTube, Chris Tech, Titus Tech. Yeah. God damn. Yeah, I'm really enjoying library too. It's nice. I like the how you have the ability to actually download videos, because a lot of the times I'll be going somewhere that's out of service and I'll download like 3 or 4 videos and check those out. You have a good night too. I'm sorry. Gonna go to bed 'cause yeah, good. Yeah, if everybody here goes subscribe to Shane, he has some good stuff. He knows what he's talking about. I'm kind of a I know a lot, not a lot. I know a little bit about a lot, and Shane Milton knows a lot about photography. So if you're interested in any of that, go check him out. Like I said, he helped me out in a video, and I am deeply grateful. But yeah, I would recommend everybody check out library. It is kind of iffy right now. You got to the search functionality sucks. The following people works pretty good, but it's new. They're working on it, and hopefully it kind of takes off to the how I think it should anyways. But we'll see. One of the things that's not good about it is they don't have a I think a server-side video encoder, so when you upload videos, it's exactly how it was. So if somebody uploads a 1080p 60 frame per second video, it's going to play at that no matter what. And if you don't have very good internet, or you're somewhere in the world that doesn't have very good bandwidth or anything like that, you might have trouble watching videos. Man. This is my first time live streaming. I didn't know there were that many people. There we go. Okay. Man, I'm supposed to be editing this. Okay.
Now, for me, that is just not enough. Dixie, come here.
Oh, do you guys want to see my dog? Oh, I don't pick her up. Okay, I just got here. Didn't realize there were so few. Like your content. No, to me, this isn't so few. There was 17 people. This is when I started this live stream. I expected like 3 or 4 people, and I was gonna boringly edit a video. But you guys have fed me with enough questions and stuff that I was able to talk for quite a while. Currently on Windows 8.1. I didn't read your whole message. What are you doing, my guy? 8.1. Oh no. 8.1. Oh no. Dual boot is really good. The dual boot's good if you use separate drives. I have a video on dual booting, and it's with the same drive, and I need to remake that and talk more about the like different like types of bootloaders and stuff like that. So that's another thing to expect soon, is a more in-depth dual booting tutorial, because mine is just a simple legacy dual boot tutorial. But dual boot on the same drive as a last resort. If you have a desktop, go get a cheap hard drive, put that in there, and have your operating systems on 2 separate drives. You will have the best experience doing it that way. You'll still have a decent experience dual booting on the same drive, but overall it's always better to have Windows and Linux on 2 different drives when you dual boot. Yep, dual boot on different drives, no complaints. Yeah, and it gets really easy too, because then you could just go into your motherboard bootloader and select the drive if you needed to, or if something happened to the bootloader. It's much easier to fix something that way. Pop! OS versus Manjaro for beginners. I actually have that video. You could go ahead and check that out. I'll pull it up for you real quick if you would like to. Actually, if I search on YouTube, it might show up. Haha, first one. I am lucky. Okay. That is the, I should have replied to your name, but that is the Pop! OS versus Manjaro video. It's an older video, but I do fairly well going over the differences between the two and kind of what to expect and what type of user would want to use each distribution. Yeah. I formatted. Not a fan of dual boot at all. Yeah. Neither am I. I was doing it for a little while, but it's not. I don't know. I just don't use Windows anymore. I have no reason to. I mean, Linux is working absolutely wonderful for me at the moment. Let's see. Ooh. I want to discuss real quick some of the results of these polls to kind of see how they hold true. Like I just said a minute ago, I'm on library. That is a meme. So AMD, most of the people prefer AMD because it's the NVIDIA support. Turns out a lot of you guys are using GNOME, which is great. GNOME is a wonderful desktop environment. If you've never tried KDE Plasma, I'd recommend you trying that as well. And this is a poll for the KDE speed testing. OpenSUSE actually not destroyed, but basically tied with Manjaro, and KDE Neon didn't do so well. The distribution poll was quite a while ago. When I did this poll about 3 months ago, a majority of you guys used Pop! OS, then Manjaro, followed by Linux Mint, and then MX Linux. So I'm probably going to run that poll again soon and see how that holds true with comments. See people using Fedora and Ubuntu, Arch, Solus, Manjaro. So, yeah. Do you have like 12 accounts or something, dude? Jesus. I've learned so much about apps that I don't even consider installing non-Debian-based distro. Yeah, I understand that. It's when you get so familiar with a package manager and you just open up a terminal and just do everything you need to do, it's hard to use anything else. MX Linux in first place. If you're talking about, I would assume you're talking about first place on DistroWatch. DistroWatch uses hits to rank the distributions, so it's not the actual use of the distributions. A lot of people click on MX Linux on DistroWatch and read about it and don't install it or use it, and then it ends up showing up because that counted as a hit. So that's one of the reasons why it ranks so high. Can you make a video on how to update firmware in Manjaro? I'm not quite sure what you mean. Do you mean the kernel, just normal updates? If I go into PAMAC, you could do a lot of the stuff there. So if you go over here, updates, checks for updates, and I have a lot of things to update, but I'm not going to deal with that right now. If you're talking about the actual Linux kernel, you go into your Manjaro settings. So if I go Manjaro settings manager, oh my God. Yeah, you go into Manjaro settings manager, and then kernel, and then here you can install different kernels. So The latest one, it's an experimental. Under no circumstance install an experimental kernel, unless if you're actually the developer for the kernel. But you have your, you can install the 5.9 one. You just click install, you restart your system, and you try it out. And if something doesn't work right, you could make sure you keep the one that did work, uninstall it, and life is good. Super easy. 19 people. Hi, everybody. There was a lot of good discussion quite a while ago. Like USB dock or video card. Hardware firmware. Hardware firmware kind of automatically updates when you update the system generally. So if I go back into those Manjaro settings, hardware configuration is where you'd want to go to for that. I think that's what you're talking about. What the heck? And then here, and then here you can auto install. The hardware firmware generally updates with your system, I believe. Hello, I found your channel. Wait, I'm gonna go in order here. What GUI do you recommend with a decent scaling for a 4K monitor? I don't have too much experience with that, as I am running a 1080p monitor. It's a widescreen, well, an ultra wide 1080p monitor. But I don't know, there was one, I know Pop has pretty good GUI scaling. I know Manjaro does too, actually. If I go into system settings, display, so display, maybe? Oh, display configuration. Global scale right here, you can change the scaling. There's a lot. I know Zorin OS, we were talking about that earlier, that has scaling options. Let's see. But I'm not too experienced. I can't talk too much on that. I would look that up. Hello, I found your channel after installing Pop OS. I was hoping to do a dual boot with Windows. Your video used Grub but wouldn't work with EFI, I guess. Love content, thanks. Yeah, I was talking that a little bit ago too. I need to not remake that. That's kind of uses Grub and legacy stuff, but I need to make a updated version of that goes over the EFI and different bootloaders. Yeah, so that will be coming soon. Shane says my Dell laptop updates the BIOS from. Haven't done it in a while though. Yeah, I don't even know. I haven't updated my BIOS since it ran Windows, but I mean it runs. I'm not trying to install like a new. The only time I would need to really update my BIOS is if I was gonna put in a Ryzen 5000 series processor, which I do not intend. How many people are in here? 17. Okay, we're dropping off a little. That's okay. How long have we been going? An hour and 8 minutes. Okay, I'm going to have to probably end this pretty soon, everybody. I do appreciate you all for watching. Me talking to you all, I'm not going to get this video edited if my life depended on it. For the time being, I will show you my dog, Dixie. She is a good girl. She would look to be on camera. Oh my god. And we have a spammer in here going crazy. Let's see. Oh, Dixie. Okay, I'll let you down. But I do appreciate everybody for stopping by and chatting. This was my very first live stream, so I do apologize if there are any quality issues. I will be going over it and checking everything out to make sure it all worked right. I may be doing these not super frequently, but I will do this again for sure. I've reported multiple times. Yeah, I'm not too worried about it. It's not too crazy. We're all moderately mature. Big fan, love your videos. Thank you so much. I do appreciate. This video should be up tomorrow. Like I said, it's super simple if you're running GNOME. Basically, the whole premise of it is to install GNOME tweaks, creating a .themes. Actually, I'll open up this real quick. Before I go, I'm basically going to spoil the video for you guys so you can kind of know what's going on. It's just adding themes to GNOME. So essentially what you do is you make a .themes folder, you install GNOME tweaks apt, sudo apt install GNOME tweaks, and then you could go ahead and install themes. I'm not going to go actually to the website, but I will go to GNOME tweaks. And then here is where you can actually change your themes. So if you go under appearance, you have it here. This is the theme I installed. So if I go into the .themes, you can see the theme there, and it's right here. If I switch it back to pop dark, you can see it goes back to pop dark. And that is how you add custom user themes. You will need the user themes extension. Installing extensions is really easy. It's a browser extension you add, and it enables this, and then you can create that folder, and it allows you to do the actual applications theme and the shell theme. So if I go back to pop dark, that's up here. But yeah, that's really the premise of the video. I'll do one last quick scan of the chat, so if there's anything you guys want to ask or talk about real quick before I end the stream, I will be doing that now. Big fan, love your videos. Thank you so much. I do appreciate. There's also going to be a video coming soon. It's kind of like a thank you video where I say thank you for the 20,000 subscribers, which is absolutely madness. I did not think that would happen, at least at this rapid of a pace. Thanks, mate. Love your videos. Very helpful. Thank you. My daily driver operating system is Arkosh asks if I'm saying your name right. It's currently Manjaro. I use Manjaro every single day. And my fiance actually uses Manjaro every single day as well. And she is very inexperienced in computers. She just uses them. She uses them as just an average computer user would. And she uses Manjaro every day for schoolwork just fine. Thank you for the saying I make quality content. I do appreciate that. I do try to make it somewhat good quality. Another thing is I'm in the process of moving, so it's going to be more kind of webcam based for a little bit. Once I get completely moved over, I'm going to invest in some lighting stuff and create like an actual... It's going to be a lot more professional looking once I get settled in my new location. So do be looking forward to that. And with that, if anybody wants to add anything else, I'm going to probably end it in about 2 minutes. So we'll see if anybody would like to ask any more questions or anything like that, because I may not live stream for maybe like a week or so. So this is your opportunity to ask me whatever you want. I will answer it to the best of my ability. I'm going to close this machine because probably freaking out my CPU running a live stream video editor, all these Firefox tabs, everything at once, if it wants to save 7, 6. But yeah, there's a lot of good content to come. This video, I have a whole list of video titles that I'm going to be working on. Yeah, so if nobody wants to add anything, about hour and 13 minute, very first live stream. Again, I appreciate all of you. You have been wonderful. I was supposed to be editing this video during this live stream and get it done, just kind of talk about the editing process, but it turned into a Q&A session, which I absolutely enjoyed. Thank you all so much for stopping by. You're watching this, so you're probably already subscribed. I'd say subscribe. Like this if you did. Yeah, big fan from India. Thank you for watching. And thank you, Dagal. I hope I said that right. So I'm going to hit the button. I hope you all have a beautiful day, and goodbye.